Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm trying to defeat Fairy Stockfish with 1 nuke against 10 knights. The nuke moves like a queen and a knight for any distance. Let's get started with game number 1. Okay, game number 1, as you can see I do have this nuke on the board. If I click on it, it moves like a queen and like a knight for any distance. Now because it sits on the first rank, it can only look at odd numbered ranks, which means it can't actually capture any of these pieces for free, at least not yet. But there are definitely 2 things that I need to be looking out for. The first being any sort of free knights, right? Because weirdly enough, because the nuke moves like a knight for any distance, I can actually fork these pieces from very, very far away. Now the problem is they are very well coordinated at the moment. I believe all of them are defended except for the knights at the end of the board. But I don't think there's a way for me to fork both of those at the same time. And the second thing is any sort of smothered mate. So for instance, if I move the nuke to G4, I see the king from F6 and then E8. Similarly, if I move the nuke to B2, I look at C4, D6, and E8, putting the king in check. Now, actually, I would play this if this knight was free, which I originally said it was, but I just realized the knight on F7 defends. So the A8 knight is the only knight that's free. So it would be amazing to be able to put the king in check and then also threaten this knight. So I'd have to be on this diagonal, but I don't think I can be on this diagonal and putting the king in check, weirdly enough. In which case, I figure I might as well just start throwing pieces in Stockfish's general direction. Let's give check. We are met with knight d7 to f6, which does block the threat on the king, and it makes this knight free. So now both of these knights are hanging. So if there's any way I could give a check and attack one of these knights, it would be free. Okay, and actually that works out perfectly because I have nuke to a4, gives check like a queen, and threatens the knight on a8 like a queen. We're met with knight to c6, but I can simply capture, and now my biggest concern is, can I checkmate this king before Stockfish develops all of these knights and, harasses my king? Because Stockfish can definitely checkmate my king with 2 knights, so there is 0 doubt in my mind that if it gets all of its pieces developed, meaning the 9 knights that are left on the board, I'm probably toast. Okay, we're met with knight to d5. I don't think this hangs anything. This knight is free though. I can't give this check on c7 because that square is newly covered, but I was gonna say I could give a check on a6, but that's covered as well. I need to make sure my nuke doesn't get cornered. So what other options do I have? Right, because I can't even go to e6 or g5 because both of those squares are actually covered. So what to do? I'd love to threaten this knight. So let's go nuke to a4, pins the knight on c6, and threatens to take on c8. Okay, we're met with knight to d6, which just moves the endangered knight out of the way, also defends it via f7, and I think that actually means everybody has a buddy that defends. Right, the only knight that doesn't have a buddy is on f8, but that's looked at by the king. So how to continue harassing Stockfish? I really don't know, because if you look at a knight's distance from the king, all of these squares are guarded. Oh, actually, except for g7. But how on earth do I get to g7? Oh, I can get there right now. Check? I have no idea if this does anything, but it looks good. Maybe I can take this? Unless king to e7, not sure. Okay, we are met with king to e7, keeping the eye on the knight on f8. This looked really good, I'm just not sure it did anything. Let's go back to g3. I'm just gonna keep giving checks until something falls off of Stockfish's plate. Right, king goes back to d8, and this is a little bit under the table, but truth is, I don't even necessarily need to see every single threat. I just need to compromise Stockfish's position enough that it sees all of the threats that I could potentially do. So not the cleanest way to win, but something to keep in mind as well. King goes back to d8. I actually don't think I have any checks. This is protected by the knight. I can't give check like a queen, so what do I do? I'm very afraid that if I give it too much time, it's going to coordinate the knights, and I'm just going to get steamrolled. But I don't know what other option I have. Maybe I just threaten this knight again. Okay, here we go. I was kind of hoping it would play king to e7, and then we could at least secure a draw, but it probably thinks it's winning if it decided to play knight to g6. And somehow that's very annoying for my nuke as well, because it would be kind of trapped. Luckily, I do have this sort of knight rider movement, which can allow it to escape, but this little knight wall of death, I don't particularly appreciate. It's also so much to calculate. There's so many squares covered by these knights. In fact, just for funsies, I'm going to highlight them all right now. Okay, as far as I could tell, this is every single square covered by a knight. And needless to say, this looks horrible. Okay, a4 is safe though. So I'm gonna drop my nuke back and at least keep it in some sort of open part of the position so I have some threats. Met with knight to f4, who does that hang? It hangs this. Is there any way for me to capitalize on that? I'm not sure, to be honest. I can play this, right? And then I threaten to take the knight on f8. which simply moves out of the way. Now, oh, this is what Stockfish does. Oh, it's terrifying. This is what he does, right? It moves the knight out to development, supported by a different knight, and then also develops this knight. So this knight was on h8, and this knight was on f8. And it has now significantly improved its position by dominating all of these central squares. All that's left is for me to get forked and somehow lose my nuke to a check and a attack by the knight. I really don't know what to do about this. This might already be toast. You guys let me know in the comments, how much is a nuke actually worth? I mean, it has to be at least 12 points because it's a queen and a knight, but the knight also moves for any distance. So maybe 13 or 14 points, but 13, 14, even 15 points. I started off Stockfish with 30 points of material. I thought though, because the knights start on the back rank, they would be really slow. But the problem is they're also extremely concrete. So what on earth do I do? I guess I try and protect my king. But the thing is, once I'm playing defense against Stockfish, I'm probably getting steamrolled. Right, here come the knights creating some new threats. Is anybody undefended? You're undefended. How do I attack you? I move. Oh, it's so sketchy. I'm gonna move here, and the top engine in the world surely will not notice this threat. Oh, what? That almost hurts my feelings even more. Okay, we get knight to e5. We have the great wall of knights in the middle of the board. Who am I not to take, right? I'm going to take and give check, but I'm assuming that there has to be some sort of crazy coordination here where I just get completely steamrolled and even checkmated very quickly. Okay, it advances the king, so it's betting that I can't continue this attack, which it may very well be correct, right? Because I can't attack from any more behind than the 8th rank. There's no 9th or 10th rank that I can sneak onto. So I have to be right here, which means the knights cover just fine. Can't attack on the rank because all of these squares are defended. I could give this check. Might as well. Knight comes to d7, and yeah, this is an actual cloud of knights in the middle of the board, and unfortunately some of these comrades are a little bit too close for comfort. And I don't think I can generate more threats, right? Because all of these Knight Rider checks, as cool as they would be, they are stopped, right? All of these Knight Rider checks from like b5 to a3 are too far away for me to get to, right? I can't get that far. Wow, that's crazy. Because the Knight Rider sort of ability of the nuke allows me to jump over walls of pieces, but this wall is 2 knights thick everywhere, except for like right here, I suppose, but that's not where my piece is anyways. So I actually can't get to this side of the board at all. Yeah, this level of restriction of an actual nuke is insane. Okay, I have to give it one good honest effort. Maybe I slide to the back and sneak around this way. And that is a checkmate threat, actually. If I could get this on the board, that ends the game. Oh my goodness, he doesn't care at all. Me personifying Stockfish because I can't imagine a computer doing this to me. Okay, knight to d3 because it feels personal. It's not that I can't imagine a computer doing it to me. It's that this feels like a personal attack. We get knight to d3 check. I have 2 options. Which one is better? King to f1? I think king d1 is mate, right? King d1, knight e3 is checkmate, so king f1 surely. And it instantly plays knight d2, which means this is already forced mate, and I just haven't seen how. King g1, yep, there it is, knight f3. Where's the mate though? Oh, if I move here, knight f2, and the triplets, the dynamic triplets cover all of these squares, and that's mate. If I go this way, it's not like I have any choices, right? Knight to e3 does in fact end the game, and I could not defeat Stockfish even with a nuke against 10 knights. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if there's absolutely anything that I missed. I really tried my best to create as many threats as possible, but I think 10 knights was just way too much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.